And we are live. Welcome everyone to BillygoatTales on a Sunday afternoon. We appreciate you all being here. Michael Saylor predicting what? $13 million Bitcoin in the future, 20 years from now. China buying gold and Bitcoin. Pretty interesting. XRP under some scrutiny, criticized. We're going to get into all that. Plus the stable coins. Stablecoins runs up, right? Why? I think we all know why. But before we get into all that, let's say hello to our team members. We do have Biomex, who's off today, and Jimmy Jim. Well, that rodeo just didn't treat him too well. He is under the weather. And we just got off the team meeting with him, and I got to say, he did look beat up from the feet up. But with that said, what's going on, Dave Digital? How you doing today, brother?
Man, I'm doing great. Been trading that Alexo crypto style on trading for the last few days, and I was about to take this Bitcoin short right here. Everybody knows if you're degenerate on the 3-minute, that was perfect, 786, and so I just barely missed it, but we'll get another one. Maybe we'll get a retest. So Otter Gang, let's trade.
Otter Gang, Alex O Crypto. What's going on, Red Man? How you doing today?
Happy Sunday to everybody. I see you all in the chat. All my buddies are here. Thank you for joining us. We got an action-packed BillygoatTales show for you. Back to you, Billy.
Well, no, speaking of the chat, Dave, you want to say hello to everybody in the chat?
Let's see. Looks like we had first Mike Bulmer came in. Then we had Blocky come in, Jay Violet on third. Crypto Billy coming in fourth in the chat. I see you there showing up on chat, Billy. We got Wick Classic in there. I don't see Wick's Wi-Fi 89, but you know she's not lurking far behind. And Alexander G came in. She said, good morning to everyone. Good game, good game, good game. GG's, Givers Gang too. Let me see here. Like number 7 came in for me. We had Uncle Jesse in there. We also got Uncle Jesse in the waiting room hanging out to talk to us a little bit later. Darren does things. Hola, BGT fam. I'm in here. Just got a few things to do. We'll listen and be back in the chat in 20 minutes after start. So Darren does things. Always busy doing things. So good to see Darren in there. FOMO Sapien, Andrea, our top mod. So we got a lot of folks in here saying hi. So please, while you're in here, everybody, please take a second. Share out the stream, put it on your X, follow everybody. Let's do the thing. Let's get the word out. Hashtag Givers Gang.
I see Rusty, Mark, Dutchy, Pennywise just came in. Blocky, you guys are great. Thanks for coming. Well, let's get something out of the way. Dave, you want to roll the little promo for the Red Man?
Get something out of the way. Let's see.
We are so excited about our second children's book. Yeah, clap those hands. Clap those hands. So,
yeah, Red.
written by our own Jeff Dinges. Jeff, Red Man, how you feeling, man? It's got to be great to see, right? We finally got it done.
Yeah, so if you told me 10 years ago I'd be writing a children's book, I'd just be laughing at you. But
look, Red, I can see that author money's paying off. You're up there in the penthouse.
you know, there's a little story behind this right here. So this is actually on my vision board right here. This is something that I want to achieve. I'm going to speak. This is one of my affirmations. I speak this to myself every day. This is a goal for me. So, and I believe I will accomplish it one day.
So we're here
Absolutely.
to agree with you, Red, and that we believe that you're going to accomplish that same thing. And you know, if two or more come together, it's
Yep,
powerful,
he's
bro.
there. He's there in the mist. Yeah.
That's right. One can do 1,000, two can do 10,000. What's up, bro? We're with you.
Amen. Amen. Preach that. Yeah.
Bill,
No, we're excited, Red. So what's going to happen is, of course, it's available on Amazon. It's a great story. We have learned as a team to get better and better, keep sharpening the saw. So this book is in so many ways so much better than our first book, and I'm sure our next book is going to be even tighter and better too. So we're learning as we go, but it's been a great to finally see it launched and come to fruition and make this happen. So Red's going to go around. He's already booked up on a lot of our friends' shows, like with Army Piper and Kelly Kellum and Blockchain Basement and a few others.
Crypto
Not to leave
Princess.
anybody out,
Yeah.
but we are definitely going to get the community rallied behind our second children's book, and you guys go out and support us. We appreciate it because it can't happen without you guys. And we're going to do some contest tied into the book. But one of the things, speaking of a contest, if you guys do want to go to the Bitcoin conference, and you're certain you're going to go, but the ticket's too expensive. What's that?
Mark Dutch is hilarious, dude.
What'd he say?
This guy cracks me up every time I see him in the chat. He said that's why I still have Pamela Anderson posters above my bed. Affirmation.
Dutchy. Well,
That's hilarious.
so
All
if
right,
you
I'm
guys
sorry.
want to, if you want to go to the Bitcoin conference, but you don't, the ticket's too expensive or you don't have a ticket yet, just drop a 7 in the chat. It can't be resold. It's Amy Lives Crypto's ticket. Next week, we are going to pull a winner for that ticket. So if you want to go to the Bitcoin conference, but you need a ticket, you want to win one, then drop a 7 in the chat. We're going to write your name down. We're going to put your name in the drawing for next week. And next Sunday, we're going to pull that. We're also going to post that on X. And by the way, if you happen to hold our NFT and you want to go, and you're a BillygoatTales NFT holder, you will get 5 entries. So we want to give you a chance to a little bit further ahead than anyone else's, just because you've been supporting us. You own one of our NFTs, so we appreciate that too. Let's see.
And to
So
be clear,
yeah.
that this is for that person that was going to go anyway. Like you were probably going to degen it anyway, even without a ticket. You were just like, hey, just going to go and I'm going to be a part of it. And I'm just going to be there and I'm going to be in the environment. And I just can't do the ticket. I just can't swing it. It doesn't seem worth it to me. That's for that person, because now that person can get meet with the ticket, because we're already going to be part of the festivities, but the ticket was just maybe a little bit out of reach. That's for you, somebody that was already planning on getting into it. That's who we wanted to give the ticket to, not somebody that, maybe I could go or maybe I couldn't go and probably you end up not being able to go. We want somebody that this is just going to help them get over the edge. Is that right, Billy?
Yeah, that's it. And the donation came from Amy Lives Crypto too. Just keep that in mind. She couldn't go. She's announced she's pregnant again, and she is gonna be having a baby, and so she offered this up for us to give away, and we're taking her up on that offer. And if we can give this to you guys that want to go, we'll be happy to do so. Speaking of giveaways, I mean, we started with Red's book. Now we're talking about Amy Lives Crypto's Bitcoin ticket for free. Let's get right into our other giveaway, Dave, before we. Yeah, man. Before we get into it, let's just get right into that, right? So we are giving away a free trip. And again, the only thing you have to do is hold one of our NFTs. If you have one of those NFTs, you are going to be put into the kitty for the trip giveaway. And what that is, guys, it's a lake house on Lake Hartwell in South Carolina. all inclusive. The only thing you have to do is get to South Carolina. We'll pick you up at the airport. We during that week they have a great festival going on. It's called the Fall for Greenville. The Fall for Greenville is a foodie event. It is a event where all the restaurants, and they have over 100 restaurants downtown. They come out. There's 100,000 people that come. It's they have 4 or 5 stages, different music going on. We're all going to go to that. We're going to be able to be on the lake. We're going to have a fire. We're going to go out on the pontoon boat. You're going to hang with the BillygoatTales team, and it's the only thing you have to do is hold one of our NFTs, and you get that free trip. And we pick you up from the airport. We take you back to the airport. All the food, the lodging, everything's included. It's going to be real great fun time, and we're going to do this every single year for our NFT holders. So hold them. Just hold it, and really you just need one to enter, right? You got to get it. You got to get an NFT, right? How do you get the NFT? Just go to our website, www.billygoatales.com or .io. Sorry, I almost screwed up. .io. We do own .com too, but we use .io. And it's right there. It says mint NFT. You mint the NFT. It's only 25 ADA, so it's not a lot. And that's how you get there. And what is the NFT? It's of our first 170 X spaces that were recorded, and we made it into a leadership book. And in the leadership book, we have great quotes, 170 speakers, people like Crypto Crow, people like Gary Cardone, people like Charles Hoskinson, a lot of influencers, a lot of YouTubers came on those spaces and talking about our 10 cornerstones. And we created a book out of it, an NFT book. So that's what the NFT is all about. It's all about our leadership book that we crowdsourced by you guys. So wanted to make sure that we hit that before we moved on. Is there anything else that I left out of that, Dave?
I think that's everything. I did put the command in chat, so everybody that applies to for the Vegas giveaway, put a 7 in chat now, and we're keeping an eye on it. Maybe the best can win.
So with that, let's get into some crypto. Red, you ready for some crypto bubbles?
Yep, let's go. All right, Billy, if you could share my screen, somebody.
Oh, that was a Tony job, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I got it down there for you. You can just add it to the stage.
I hit add to the stage. What's it say? It says before presenting screen, remove other media. We got a little technical difficulty. What's other media, Dave?
Go. Oh, there it was. There it is.
There we go. We did it.
All right, for you Hexicans, it's a red hour for you, down 3.5%. IP story is up 1.2, rendered 0.0%. But as you can see, most of the market getting a little bump to the downside. Got mostly red here. On the daily, we got Bonk up 7% for you meme coiners out there. Bonk's getting a nice little push. Form, I think, is a new coin. It's up 4 spots, $75 million volume. So, man, this thing has got some money in it. It's a Binance coin. Let's see what else. Sonic up 3.7. Looks like it hit a little top here. It's getting a little retrace. Let's go on. We got Trump coin. Whoa, look at that. Got a nice little pump out of Trump coin. And the weekly, Pancake Swap. Whoa, 45%. Way to go, Pancake Swap. Pi down 30%, Dave. What happened there? You got a little sell-off going. No big.
Hey, 142 still seems a lot higher than what it was. I think we were in the 120s last week. So,
hey, for mining this thing for basically just watching a commercial is pretty good. I mean,
for some reason, Harvey Piper is not a fan of it. So I'm not sure if it really is an issue of people getting it off and turn it into money or something. But for some reason, Piper's not a fan. He keeps wanting to get out of the top 20. So I'll have to look deeper into that.
We got CRV, the Google of crypto. It's up 21% this week. Yeah, we got hyper liquidated. I mean, hyper liquid's up 20% this week. Aave up 10%. Aave, I mean, it's down 186. It was up in the 300s, but before December, but now it's 184. I expected to go back up in the 300s by the end of the year, but we'll see what happens.
Is that a prediction, Red?
No, it's not a prediction. You can go to zero tomorrow, guys. It could go either way. It could go either way. If you look at the month, man, we are red for the month. Gala, where's Jimmy Jim? Gala Games down 24% for the month. It's down 73% for the year.
Wow, it's almost at my average buy price, 1.5. It's 1.6. So that thing has absolutely killed me. No doubt about it. I got a pretty good size. I don't have a bag as big as Jimmy's, but I got a pretty good sized bag of it.
Yeah, Caspa is going sideways for the day. For the week, it's up 8%. For the month, it's down 20%. For the year, it's down 42.5. And that one was for RMT. I don't see him in the chat yet, but I'm sure we'll see him soon because as soon as you say Cass, he shows up. Tau is down 42% for the month. That's in line with the rest of the AI coins. Anything else you want to look at, Billy? For the year, this kind of stayed the same as last week. XRP 280%, 287% up. So congratulations, XRP Army. Mantra still 1,000% up. XLM up 110%. Anything notable? H bar. Whoa, look at this.
And
nice
remember,
little
we're just
bump out of
in the
H-bar.
first quarter. So, I mean, this is for the year. This is crazy.
Yeah. Injective down 72%. That's par for the course with the rest of the alts. Bitcoin still doing better than most coins out there. I mean, the daddy of them all, right? So
Yeah, Big Daddy Bitcoin. I mean, for a lot of us, I think this has been the season where we've started to lean a lot towards Bitcoin. Like it's just proven to be Big Daddy, you
Big
know,
Daddy.
to where, the last 4 or 5 years, maybe a lot of us were excited about the speculation. And a lot of that excitement for some of us has worn off and just locked into what Bitcoin is and the appreciation of it.
Yeah. It's like I said, it was one of my biggest takeaways from the last bull run is I came away from the last bull run knowing that I needed more Bitcoin, man. It was a huge takeaway for me. So I think everybody needs more Bitcoin in the end. Some of these OG coins, Dino coins, whatever you want to call them, boomer coins, they have just like Atom, like Pole, Matic. Some of these just Gala was around for a long while, to just polka dot. These just have not produced. Now we still have hopefully the altcoin season coming, right? That's the whole plan. So it's not over to the fat lady sayings, but man, if it's one takeaway, if you wasn't here for the last bull run, at least this bull run, you can use this as a takeaway for your investments for the future. Bitcoin is King Daddy. It is King Daddy. So you always be DCAing into Bitcoin.
Yeah, Dixie Flatline asked how we're feeling about Cardano, and of course we're bullish. And I think we're bullish especially on any of the tokens that are American and any of the tokens that have been listed in any of the Trump tweets. I think that's a good roadmap, and I think any of the the different branches of each of those tokens, I think, are good plays. And I think they may be the only, safe plays when it comes to traditional altcoins.
Yeah,
and at the bottom of the bear, you could buy Cardano for 24 cents, 22 cents, 24, 25 cents. And it's, it went up to, $1.15 or so. It's come back down to 70, 71 cents now, but that's still better than Matic, better than Dot, better than Atom, better than Gala. So yeah, we're bullish on Cardano. And of course, there's a lot of things stirring with Cardano. It's good stuff. Of course, they're in the conversation at the White House. They're in the conversation nationally. So it's Yeah, I'm bullish on Cardano, and I still personally have a big bag of Cardano I hold on to. So yeah, that's one of the outlier. It is an ISO coin, and we'll get into XRP later. But the ISOs, you saw their XLM was up. Some of these ISO coins have done fairly well compared to a lot of these boomer coins. So, but since that's a good segue into the market update, Dave. Yeah, so as you can see here, we are at fear and greed is at 27. So it's inched up a little bit, right? So it's 2.78 trillion market cap. We are still grinding. We are still grinding. I personally, when I look at fear and greed almost every single day, I personally use that as part of my DCA strategy as well because it just hasn't ever failed me. When you buy in the teens, you buy Bitcoin in the teens, you seem to, and this is just my own truth, right? It's on my own personal opinion. When I buy it in the teens, it's been good for me. It's been really, really good for me. So, not saying that's good for everybody, and that timing is everything on that. But when it gets down into the teens, I tend to buy some Bitcoin. Bitcoin's at 84,997. Looks like it just ticked up there. Ethereum, wow, $1,900 Ethereum, 1989, almost $2,000 Ethereum. 7 days up 5%. XRP, 7 day up 3.19% at $2.38. Amazing. BNB up 3.51% on the 7 day. Solana up 2.26. So it broke out of that 120 range. It's now back up to 130. Could we have seen a turnaround here? We don't know, right? We don't know. And look at Dogecoin. Man, I am so happy I sold my Doge real close to the top just because it was so. And I think I bought it originally at 7 cents or something like that. And when all that hype was going on, as you guys know, I do not follow the herd. All that hype's going on, I sold it. And it has done nothing but plummet. And I wish I could do that across the board with everything. But a lot of these have not ripped enough for me to sell. But Cardano, we just talk about basically 70 cents. Cardano's a good one I trade too. I spot trade Cardano because that 70 cents without even looking at a chart, I can tell you that's real close to the POC or what I would consider the POC. It likes a range right there. So when you get down there, and it could be if we pulled up a chart, maybe DTT Kim, but we pull up a chart, it might even be the value area low. I have to look at that. But Chainlink's up 6%. XLM up 5.48%. And Toncoin's up 6 points. So yeah, I mean, overall, fear and greed's going up. The market, total market cap's going up there a little bit, at least as of today. So things are good. I saw Lifer this morning made a trade on Bitcoin, and it started moving. So that was great to see. I see Poyo's in the chat. Yeah, Poyo, cluck, Poyo. Good to see you.
Cluck.
Where is DDT, by the way? I better. Maybe
He said he'd be up in a couple minutes.
Okay.
He's getting his charts together.
Let me send the link there. While we're waiting on DDT, let's pull up Jesse. He's in the house, one of our community members. What's going on, Jesse? Good to see you, brother. While we're waiting on DDT, let's pull up Jesse. He's in the house. Well, I can hear the replay. Can you hear me, Jesse? I think he's on delay from being overseas.
YouTube.
Yeah, I can hear you, man. Everything all right?
We're good. We're good.
Yeah, it's a bit of a delay. I will mute my TV so it won't be confusing.
There you go, man. Thanks for joining us.
What's up,
Oh,
Jesse?
but now I can hear you. That's a problem.
Thanks for joining us. What's up, Jesse? Yeah.
Do you
Yeah,
have
you
your
probably
earbuds?
need some headphones, man.
It's a bit of a delay on the stream, so you can hear yourself if you are talking.
Yeah, we
I've
don't
got
need to hear ourselves.
AirPods, but they are not working with stream.
Yeah, so what brings you in, man? Thanks for stopping. What you got to tell our audience? What you got? You know all these people.
I will try to fix it.
Okay.
Yep.
And
So while
we'll
he's
bring
trying to
Jesse
fix
back up
that,
when he gets his audio problems taken care of. I
yeah,
think he
man.
wanted to stop and say hi to everybody. It's
think
good to
he-
put a face to the.
You know, that's the beauty of this show is we want anybody to come up and experience it, you know, and have fun. And you never know what's going to be born out of that. You know, that may be the next big YouTuber that, you know, just one day they decided to push, you know, join us on our stream, and that got some of their jitters out. Then they came back a few times. The next thing you know, they launched a big stream that is super valuable in the community. We just don't know yet. So
Mhm.
I encourage everybody to, if you see the link in chat and you want to come up just for even a minute, come up. We don't bite. At least most of us don't when Tony's not here. So
Yeah,
come on up.
Tony's not here, so we don't bite.
Yeah.
So Red, while we're waiting on the man, the myth, the legend, DDT, do you want to go into some research stuff or?
Yeah, sure. I can do that. Or, you want me to-
No surprises, Red. No surprises.
No surprises, and don't give away the goodies, right?
If
So
you want the good stuff, y'all gotta go to the Discord. This is where Red researches house.
yeah,
But
so
if you want a little snippet, gonna give you a little something.
I got some RWA coins. There's an AI coin in there. There's a brand new NFT / liquidity market that's going to be launching here pretty soon. It's in there. It's called Kita, but I'll leave it at that. So yeah, you guys, if you got your BGT NFT, you can go in that. You'll be verified once you get into our Discord, and you'll be able to access that channel. That is not the only channel. There will be more channels in there that you'll be able to access if you go buy the NFT. So get your BillygoatTales NFT as soon as possible, and you can have
And
access to that
is
alpha.
it true that members of that channel get feet pics? Is that true, Red?
Yeah.
I thought I heard that.
That-
Mark Dutch was telling
if
me
you
that
like-
you were giving
That's a
feet
foot file.
if you like
pics. For sure it is.
if you like pale feet with big nails, you're in the right spot. You know.
Perfect. I know
This
some people
sounds this
do. That may
sounds
not
like
be my
something
flavor,
for
but some people
Billy
do.
Goat Tales After Dark kind of thing right there. Well, we do have
Hey, there he is.
the man, the myth, the legend, DDT.
Am I working?
Dave, you could at least wait till somebody stops speaking. I think you like, dude. What's going on, DDT?
Evening. How's the microphone? Everything working?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, all good. Busy weekend. Normal story. Off the charts.
I
doing
think
some
something's
stuff in
wrong with the
garden.
camera. It's hiding your smile. I mean, there it is.
Yeah.
There it is. So
Busy,
serious.
busy
It's Sunday. We're gonna let our
Yep.
hair down today. What do you got over there, Darren? What have you been looking at? What's making you giggle today?
Nothing really. I've been slaving away in my garden now that it's spring in the UK. So getting some stuff ready for the garden.
How many days of spring do you guys get up there?
Probably like it's finished almost now. back to winter soon. 5 days of summer, 5 days of spring, and then rubbish weather the rest of the time.
See, in Texas, we're backwards. We get all of it summer and just a couple days of spring.
That's what I kind of grew up in. South Africa was fairly moderate. Probably have like 10 to 15 degree winters. Celsius. I don't know what that's Fahrenheit. Maybe like, what's that? 40-ish Fahrenheit?
30-ish.
Literally through the whole winter. where I was brought up. So prefer the moderate weather, but
Yeah. I like Texas weather. People like when we talk about the giveaway going to where Billy's at for the weekend, or Billy's going to Billy's for the weekend. Everybody's like, "Oh, we don't want to do it when it's hot." When it's hot, I'm like, I like it when it's hot. That means you can do whatever, and you don't have to wear a whole bunch of clothes. Perfect. Love it.
Yeah, but some of us have big bellies and we don't like to take our shirts off anymore because we're old and fat.
We're going to Vegas in May, bro. What are you gonna do? You're just gonna have to get over it.
There was a time, but
You're gonna have to
there's-
get on that Dave Digital
yeah,
exercising, Billy.
yeah, he's got me
Hey,
eating
look, I'm
those
getting my belly
eggs and
too.
avocados in the morning now. So
Look, I'm supposed to be putting on weight, so it's okay. By the time I get to Vegas, my belly's gonna be good. I'll probably have another 10 pounds, and especially whenever I'm just not figuring out how to put on weight, it's all gonna be in my belly. I know it is. You know, that's just the way it is.
I think we lost Jesse. I put in the private chat if he was good to go, and then he just
He's
lost. But
probably
anyway,
changing some
let's
things
look at
around.
some Bitcoin. DDT.
All right, let me share
Yep.
that one. I might just need to put on some stiff.
So we got to
not
remove
too
that other
much
one.
happening.
Oh.
Let me just quickly turn on the range.
Is that you, Dave? There you go.
That's Dave.
Okay.
Yeah, so I might have to just show market cipher quickly. But at this point, kind of Bitcoin, it's found more than likely a local bottom. So decision time, it's either going to, it can be at a high low here to make a higher high, or it's going to be intermediate where it's going to put in the lower high and come down, break that lows. So decision time still. We have higher time frame dots. So we've obviously had the 5-day printing. We had the 4-day confirm yesterday. We had the 3-day earlier on this week. And daily now is just playing red dot, green dot at the moment. So
It's mine and Dave's favorite game.
yeah, so I would have preferred this red dot on the daily to actually have happened on Tuesday or Wednesday when we were coming down, kind of on these candles here. I would have hoped that we came down there, put in the, obviously it looks rubbish, but I haven't drawn a probably, but another drive of daily bullish divergence. But for the most part now, we've taken out this range. So we had a small range pulled from on daily candles from Sunday the 9th, so basically like 2 weeks ago. And then on the 4-hour, we kind of have a kind of value area high break with the money flow crossing green. So these usually mean this value area now might be behind us if it doesn't come back into it. So obviously, as we're breaking this value area high, money flow crossed green on the 4-hour, which is, for me, it's like one of the better time frames to use kind of to base my either swing or kind of weekly intraday trades, because when 4-hour money flow red is I'm favoring shorts. But at this point as well now, we still have daily money flow red, which they're fighting each other at this point. And then, so we kind of got this range here. We kind of broken out. We do, if I just quickly, we do just have the problem now is with, share this one, just switching tabs. We've broken the trap. So obviously we've pushed out the trap, obviously taken out some shorts. And we've now left the CME close just below us at about 84.1. CME opens in about 25 minutes. So I'm thinking they may come back for that level. And I don't think there's actually that much below us at this point on Bitcoin. Daily nickel points controls. There's more stuff to the upside. There's a daily naked point of control on the value area low there, and then there is, I don't know if there's any daily blocks below us. There's a daily block just below the POC. At this point, I would be trying to favor longs, but the thing is now that the Fibonacci that I'd favor is literally right on the POC. And actually, come to think about it, we've come into this already. So your probably next level that we'll maybe backtest is like 84,500. Maybe come into the CME, close the CME gap, like 84,100. So we could. But for the most part, I'm thinking, unless this is all a fake out to kind of get long strapped up top here, we'll probably start heading back up towards 86K. Damn, I don't have my. Sorry, I'm just trying to look, see if I do have liquidation map open. We built some liquidity up kind of close to 86K. But plus also as well, there's a hell of a lot below, just like literally close to 84K. So at this point, I'm thinking it will be kind of cool offish. It'll be kind of cool off a little bit and then try and go for that 86K liquidity. I don't see them coming as low as kind of low to 84K. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with Bitcoin at the moment. Obviously, yeah, still stuck kind of between the liquidity of the weekend. But for the most part, I'm thinking because we're closer to this 86K, it makes sense. Maybe won't get it, but I would say my probability and my best guess is probably they'll come for this before we hit the 84K. Or we'll come like close, but not sweep it and then go for the 86. So
just on the heat map, it's real close, isn't it? I mean, there's a lot above low and a lot above, about equal.
Price-wise or kind of percentage-wise, it's still closer to this 86. So yeah. So that's kind of where I'm looking on Bitcoin. I prefer to basically my weekend. I try not trade on weekends. I kind of will pick my week trade or my intraday kind of maybe a few days swing. Generally on a Monday after I've woken up, I'll see what the Asia range did. I'll see what Asia session did. And then obviously from there, that kind of sets my bias for the week. It's blind man's bluff trying to guess kind of what's going to happen just yet until you've had the Asia session. For me, that's kind of my personal thoughts. I don't trade until after I've seen what Asia did on a Monday open. So yeah.
So on the weekly close, what do you think that's?
Let's look at the weekly candle quickly. Let me hide everything here. Hide drawings.
Man, it's going to be so nice.
It's a bullish candle, but the thing is as well, we've got these higher time frame dots printing now, and the VWAP on market cipher B is coming up, so it looks as if it's going to want to print a green dot, but obviously it's still succession, so we've got to wait for the 6-day close. The 6-day close is on Wednesday. If we can start with the 6-day close, if the 6-day candle can start pushing a bit bullish and break above that high or kind of break above 86.6, then yeah, I would say the weekly dot will print next week more than likely. It's just a bit iffy. I don't know if there's any news. I haven't actually checked all my stuff, but it's back end of the month. There's not really that much news next week.
Can you go to that daily again? The daily
time?
Yeah.
It's still chopped to me, but I'm still thinking it might go up a little bit more before it retraces again.
Yeah.
And also as well, the one thing that I was just saying in Frankie's, I was just in the kitchen kind of with the guys kind of this afternoon. Just zoom in a bit. This whole move up, there's a lot of red open interest. So it was more short, or most of that's all. You can see how open interest is dropping. Sorry, that's a weird drawing. But anyway, open interest is dropping.
We're going to hear it now.
Open interest is dropping as we've literally been going up. So they've hunted some shorts, basically. Or took out the shorts that we're shorting here, kind of Friday, kind of in this vicinity. Like here, like that zone there. Obviously, all the shorts went down. Now you've hunted them. So yeah, I'm thinking probably, you can see it's starting to push up again on the 15. I'd want to see it take 86 before I even consider another short at this point. Maybe just a scalp. But yeah, that's Bitcoin. Is there anything else like the normal coins? We look at ADA, XRP, Solana.
Redman, Dave, did anybody say in the chat which ones they wanted next?
Well, yeah, I was personally asking for ADA, but
Okay,
I hadn't
okay.
seen anything. I hadn't seen anything since I asked.
I'm checking chat now. So if you have requests for DDT, go ahead and put them in the chat.
Why do I not have any levels on ADA? Oh, because I'm not on the high time frame. So Cardano, still sorry, I have a lot of levels. But at this point, we had the lower volume profile here to the left. We came down, literally back tested the POC of that twice, and obviously broken out and back tested the value area high now. So the 70 cents, 69, 70 cents, Billy did mention was a key level to hold. What's the money flow doing? Yeah, money flow is still up Bitcoin red and just not giving that much of hope. But for the time being, we have.
Well, that money flow looks ugly.
Yeah, on Cardano. That's just because of Yeetcoin or something. At this point, obviously, back to 70 cents are probably where we now we're at 70 cents. So
Yeah,
it's kind of at a. Oh, sorry. The key level to hold, sorry, is 66, not 60. What I have at 69. 69 is this kind of local area. So probably it's come down and ready to test. Yeah, it's already hit this. It's already hit the. Oh, it's holding this daily level there. Yeah, still. What's a 4 hour doing? Did 4 hour flip? No, 4 hours not flipped where some already have 4 hour money flow. I've got a local range here, but I don't think it's actually. It's not. Most of the kind of key levels now are either kind of a few percent up or a few percent down. There's nothing locally that's kind of. It's really saying anything's. Yeah, it's holding this like little range here. What's the 1 hour doing? Yeah, it's provided it holds like this 68 to 70 cents. I think.
Yeah, it does. That's it. 68 to 72, somewhere in there. It just, and if
it's in accumulation, like if you're looking this at kind of price action wise, generally, it's just accumulating at the moment, which is good. Obviously, it's waiting for a move. It's waiting for Bitcoin. And it's been one of the ones as well that's moved quite well with Bitcoin. Obviously, XRP has moved. Solana, when Bitcoin moves, XRP, Solana, and Cardano generally move with it. But yeah, it's just literally from when.
Is that a green dot down there? What's that?
Yes, this is a 1 hour green dot anchor wave. If we were looking at like the 5 minute, yeah, it's just really choppy and accumulating. If I was going to say anything, I would think it's going to.
I think it's a great buy zone for Cardano. My personal opinion, not financial advice. But
look how long. Cardano. If you just look kind of how long it's literally.
Yep.
Spent in the zone, like specific. Obviously, it's gone up and below it, but it's kind of the key zone at this point where
turn that into support and run.
Yeah. What's the weekly doing? The weekly's probably also very.
I mean, it looked like at this point all you're waiting for is a bull dip with the money flow crossover, and you're good to go.
Yeah, 4 hour needs to set up a lower low though. 4 hours looking like it wants to set up a bull div locally. It didn't go down, but here, this money flow wave. I mean, this momentum wave can just start curving up and start pinching. You've definitely got a. Obviously you need it. You need the price to come down a bit, but you could definitely get a 4 hour bull div off Cardano. But yeah, generally just holds 68 to 72 cents. Upside targets are still close to 90 cents for me. I don't know. I've kind of got this 80, anything from 82 to 90 cents upward target is value area high here, daily naked point control, and then you have the key value area at 91 cents. So for the most part, it's just it's not something I'll probably trade just yet until it picks a direction. It's literally going sideways the last 3 or literally 2 weeks from the 10th of March. Oh yeah, it's literally just been stuck in the sideways accumulation between like 66 and 76 cents. So something's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. But
Yeah. I guess we have a few more coins here.
Yeah, man, I saw there's a few that I saw, and there's maybe even a few that will go with what we're talking about today that you can prepare if you want to, if that's okay with you, Billy. Because of course we're going to be talking about XRP some, so I know that people like to see that, and then we're going to be talking about the stablecoin market caps. So if you want to have something on that, that'd be cool. And then we had Ondo, Fartcoin, Render, and Virtual. So we had
Yeah, we're not going to be able to get all those and stay on track. But if we could look at XRP, just because we're going to be talking about that, that'd be great.
Yeah, so XRP is obviously had this range here. It's just literally just playing this range. Obviously deviation back up top, came deviated now. Was this 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago? Oh yeah, 2 weeks ago deviated. Had a strong candle close. This is 4 hour. But yeah, it's still literally in this range here, and it's this volume profile. For those that don't know, it's that. That's the pull, the volume profile pull that I'm using. I think it did have the daily bull div as well. Yeah, I had a daily bull div with Bitcoin. When Bitcoin daily bull dived into 76 or somewhere there, had a clear daily bull div here. So there and there, it's the daily bullish divergence. Money flow is also still not coming up, which I presume. Sorry, let me just flip to 4 hour. Yeah, 4 hours green. Looks like one's a 4 hour red dot though, which is not ideal. So I had this zone. I was looking at this zone from Monday for our guys in the kitchen, but basically this is just a fib. It's just a fib zone, just below the POC, and also as well as we came. This is just something I gave to them too on one of my streams, just to say that we could get like a 15 divergence into there, bounce literally on the POC of the range. So yeah, we obviously had used my DDT divergences. So basically into this Fibonacci POC, we had this, kind of divergence, absorption. There was a few things that kind of triggered it off. But plus also as well as a key zone because they hit it before. So if it was going to hold, then that was the kind of zone to hold. So I kind of gave that as a signal. If kind of Bitcoin was going to bounce on Tuesday or when was this? That was Saturday. Oh, that's this week. Sorry. Friday 21. Where were we? I mean, I gave something. I can't remember. Anyway, okay, I may be talking about something else, but I had this zone marked out. But yeah, it's same like Cardano, it's accumulating. It did have that news, obviously, it's been back on the daily because of the SEC dropping the lawsuit. So that was that candle, and then literally almost recovered that whole candle. Probably also as well why I said this was just because of the 50%. Covered 50% of the candle, which was like 241. Take back the liquidity. And yeah, it's kind of fighting this PSC at the moment now. So I was just looking, it looks like it wants to come down a bit, swelling over. Yeah, it's not looking like it wants to come bottom of one.
Can you pull your mic a little closer to your mouth there? It's starting to clip on us. Yeah, you're good.
There. I can put it up a bit. But yeah, it's you might check keyboard taps though, but for the most part, yeah, it's just kind of the whole weekend literally been on this almost since Thursday, basically Friday. It's just been accumulating. If I had to think, what's 8 hour doing? Yeah, I'm still probably looking at kind of the full vector recovery of this, like 230. If it drops, if it's going to go up, obviously it will have to take this high, and would think that based on the 4 hours, 4 hour money flow, it's just very iffy. Like if I could be 100% certain, I would, but everything is just quite choppy at the moment, waiting for Bitcoin to pick a direction, or actually for volume to come in. like altcoins as well, they can pump a lot easier on less volume or less kind of margin being put into trades. But for the most part, XRP, yeah, kind of for now holds 230. What is that? 235, 236. I have a key zone there to hold. If it doesn't hold there, obviously now it's rejecting this POC. You could get a value rotation where it could come down into there. That key kind of 213. But also as well, it's kind of wouldn't want it to come all the way down there because now you kind of have a decent little structure on the 4 hour at least. You're printing 4 hour higher lows, so, and obviously higher high as well. So it's kind of a little bit of bullish structure there as well, although it's still going sideways. So if I was looking kind of downside targets, probably looking like 225 to 230 at this point. And then if it's going to yeet out of here, doesn't look like it, but is the 8 hour going to give us a dot? I'm just trying to find something that, 8 hours just had a trigger, 12 hour. 12 hours got a trigger, 16 hour got a trigger, daily. Yeah. I think it goes sideways and then goes up just based on kind of these higher time frames. Obviously, the higher time frames take a bit longer to play out, but it's looking like even the green dots now, the red dots now will just kind of just pull it sideways and slightly lower, wait for these higher time frame dots to confirm, and then probably start heading back up. But it's just messing around on this POC. If it reclaims the POC at 240, then yeah, if it bounces back above this, then obviously it can probably head back up to like 250s, 260s.
It's going to 589, man. It's going to 589.
I think this is the thing as well. I think XRP probably has probably one of the most potential, because obviously it's probably been the most hated coin, kind of, and obviously the most loved and hated, most loved, hated, and suppressed as well, based on this whole ECC thing. But now that that's over, I would think that if we are going to get another run out, XRP is going to be another one to run again, and I can easily see it to go taking out these highs, taking out 340 quite easily. That's not so far from it. It's maybe like 20%. What is it? Yeah, like 30%, 35%. That's easy for altcoins at this point. If you're going to go parabolic now, that kind of that can be done in like 2-3 days. It can be done in a few days. Was there anything else from XRP?
I got a question for you real quick. And I was meaning to ask this earlier, but I wanted you to go through your chart first. With Bitcoin on the daily, I noticed the money flow. There's a green dot. It's uneven butt cheeks, and a money dot or a green dot just printed on the daily for my market cipher. And then it's got a nice fat green candle that just printed. But is it still under the 200?
200 EMA?
Yeah. No.
200 EMA, daily 50 EMA. 200. Oh, sorry. Let me just put the EMAs on. Is that moving? Why can't I not get moving average? What color is this? Sorry, it's blue.
No, you're good.
What is that? Yeah, it's below the 200.
Okay.
200 daily MA and the EMA.
Okay.
So if I turn this one off, 200, still 95,000 according to this. Oh, flip on the 16 hour. Wrong time frame. Sorry, user error. It's kind of just below both. That would probably be the flip as well. For those that trade MAs, you would want it to flip both of those to support. Generally, I only look at EMAs kind of for my kind of vector trading scalps, but at this point, yeah, it's fighting the. I think it's just gone above the 200 SMA. Let me turn my EMAs off. Yeah, it's just gone above. So daily close above 84,885. We're on 85. Yeah, so it's just above the 200 SMA, simple moving average. You'd want to daily close backtest and go. Could be a good one to use. Sorry, I always just have a lot of drawings and stuff, but simple EMAs. Yeah, that's kind of governed. And also as well, something that I generally look at as well is the weekly 50 EMA. So obviously we've held the weekly 50 EMA. So that's obviously guided the whole trend up. Guided the whole trend up basically from like the 20 Ks, right? So we've not closed below. I think when we start closing below the weekly 50, that's kind of when alarm bells will be ringing. Because I know a lot of traders that will then literally start selling off kind of as part of their strategy. So they usually go giga long. Obviously, it's a bit delayed, but they normally go giga long once you start getting back above it. So for the most part, yeah.
All right, DDT, we appreciate it, man. You can stick around, of course. We got to keep moving. We got a lot of stuff to go over, but we appreciate you going over these charts with us, man.
Thanks, guys. I can come back and do some charts if there's a bit of time later on. But yeah, I'm happy to hang around.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate it, DDT.
Yeah, cheers.
Give us game, bro.
Give us a game, man. So real quick, let's we had some other people jump in here. Don't want to miss them. Jay Violet, good to see you. Lemoneezer, thanks to see. Nice to see you, Lemoneezer. Okay, all set. We got A1 in the house. We got, what is that? Kellyfant. Karen's in here. Good to see you, Karen. Karen's basically my other neighbor.
ASH, OG.
Yeah, Karen's OG for sure. Good people. Who else we got in here? Gains for Life. He had to head out. We saw you in here, Poe Man. Good to see you. Got all the OGs in the BillygoatTales chat right now. That's great. CJ, good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. Poe Man. Of course, Dutchy. Got all the OGs in here. So thank you for popping in the BillygoatTales. Also, we want to remind you guys on Twitter X on Tuesday, we have Gary Cardone. Gary Cardone, we're going to be speaking about the power of I am. If you haven't heard any of this, it's one of our first videos that we put out on BillygoatTales, the power of I am. And Gary Cardone has turned this into like his own Sunday church, basically, with the whole series on I am. And I did watch a little today, and he was talking, guys, about rarity. And it was like so beautiful because he started saying the exact same things that we've been preaching in our one of our cornerstones is rarity. So it's going to be a great space to talk to somebody that's really looking inward now, looking at everything that he stands for, and he's trying to touch other people's lives and better himself and other people. So we're just going to have a great space on Tuesday. So please share that space out. Come on in. It's going to be an awesome topic with awesome people hanging out on Tuesday, and I can't wait. It's going to be one of my favorite spaces. I got a feeling. What was you going to say, Dave? Sorry if I cut you off.
Yeah, man. Just when you were saying how to chat, it reminded me. I was in one of Frankie's chats. I think it was this last week, and I saw Allset send a message to Frankie, and he said, "Hey, Frankie, I just want to let you know, bro, that I'm all set because of you." I never knew that dude was all set like that, and it was because of Frankie. So he told him that, and I just thought that was something beautiful, something I didn't know, that Allset's name means that he's all set. It's good now.
See what we learn? I mean, it's just amazing what we learn, right?
Yeah, man. That touched me in chat. I thought that was really cool. He says, we talk a little bit, I think it was on X, he said, spirit and body's coming next. Finances in the books. So that's pretty cool. Congratulations, and really cool to be a part of Frankie Candles and to see that he touched somebody like that.
Oh yeah, yeah, that is beautiful, and the good ones do. The good ones do. So it's what it's all about, for sure. So one of our, I think, was there another announcement I was going to make before we get into the Michael Saylor piece? Let me look real quick. Let's see.
Did we
Let's
confirm
see.
the foot massage from Jimmy? Did we confirm that yet, or is that we're still waiting on Dave?
No, I don't think we confirmed that.
Okay, didn't want to leak it then. Sorry, guys.
No, that's Jimmy's probably passed out by now, I would say. He was in chat a little bit earlier, right?
He was. He hasn't been in there for a little while.
Let's see. I'm going to share this up. All right. Can you guys see that, or does that need to be minimized, Red?
We're gonna have to minimize it, Billy, and then
Yeah,
have to move it
that's
around.
always we went through this once, right? Boom. You
There
can
we
see
go.
that, right? All right.
Perfect.
So, Michael Saylor, $13 million Bitcoin. Can you imagine that in 20 years? If you guys haven't seen this great little piece, and we all understand that Michael Saylor is basically the biggest maxi, and we love him for it, right? But he did basically say in 20 years we could see, it's his belief, not factual or financial advice, but that it could be 20 by 2045, $13 million, and so he forecasts Bitcoin reaching 13 million in 20 years, based on Bitcoin's scarcity as a digital commodity. Strategy maintains significant Bitcoin. That's MicroStrategy. Now Strategy, Bitcoin holdings. So, what do you guys think of that? I mean, here's a guy that's smart, very engineer minded. Really got in and learned all about crypto not that long ago, right? So you're going back to 2020, 2021. And he has been buying Bitcoin like crazy. He says, quote, I can stand here and I can tell you that I think the price of Bitcoin will go to $13 million over 20 years. I couldn't say that about a security. Michael Saylor, CEO of Strategy. So, and as we know, he holds almost 500,000 Bitcoin, 499,096, 499,000, almost 500,000 Bitcoin. The man holds. What do you guys think about that? What do you think, Dave?
It's only
Well-
BlackRock and is it BlackRock and Satoshi? I think are the only other wallets that hold more Bitcoin than him, from what I can remember.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And
he owns
one
a
thing
lot.
about
But also as well, I think he's a bit deluded. 13 million, yes, probably not in our lifetime, but I don't know. I have very contrarian views to Saylor. He's not, for me, he's not the best advocate, because obviously he has, what do you call it? He has
unlimited
Bitcoin.
money.
So that's like he's only an advocate for Bitcoin because he has Bitcoin. It pumps his bags. But obviously, that's basically influences as well. So
Well, I don't think it's fair to say that he's only an advocate for Bitcoin because it pumps his bags. I think he is an advocate for Bitcoin because it pumps his bags. But somewhere along the way, it seems like he's at least trying to create the persona of somebody who believes in the technology and understands the technology, and feels like people that haven't adopted it yet are just that. They just haven't done it yet. He feels like they're gonna.
the only thing is, like, there's a flip side to that. He's devaluing his company value. Obviously, his company value is based on Bitcoin basically now, but basically he has to devalue his company to raise money to buy Bitcoin. So that's
But
the
he
kind
only
of
has to
flip side.
devalue it in US dollars. He's not devaluing it in Bitcoin, right? So if your dollar, if you now think in Bitcoin, does he actually devalue his company?
But
Yeah, like we had
his
the-
company has no other value. His company doesn't make EPS. It's a Bitcoin proxy. That's basically the only reason I would see people investing in strategy now, kind of a cheaper Bitcoin proxy.
Well, have you looked at the earnings per share price?
I think it's actually been better than what it has.
Yeah, it has
over the
been.
last, because obviously the appreciation in Bitcoin and obviously depreciation in the shares over the last year.
Yeah. So I
think
mean,
there's
as
a high
far
chance
as
that, I mean, if Bitcoin goes wrong, obviously he's screwed.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
so far
yeah,
so
that's
good.
for sure.
Let's just say it this way. So far so good. You know, he's made
but
the
he's
right
got no
call.
surety. This is the problem, right? His company can go bankrupt. He uses the company money to buy Bitcoin. The way that the Bitcoin is set up is that it's not affected by strategy going bankrupt. So he's basically taking money out of his company, or kind of raising money at the company to buy the Bitcoin. Yes, that appreciates his company, but if his company literally kind of service-wise isn't getting dollars into it to kind of
Strategy
keep going.
is
But doesn't he look at
$304.
Bitcoin as an energy, right? He
Yeah.
sees it as energy. So he feels like he's buying energy, and that's his product as a company in theoretical terms, right? As he's got energy, and he thinks this energy, aka this Bitcoin, is going to be something valuable, or continues to be something more valuable than the day that he bought it. That's his idea, right? Is that's his product? Is that it's an energy?
But the thing is, as well, his company is like the only, I don't know, maybe I'm just biased and maybe I just don't get it as well as what others do. But for my opinion of him is that his company is basically Bitcoin. Like the earnings per share, yes, they've gone up and his company is appreciating and stuff because of Bitcoin being the proxy to his
100%.
company. Like how many software sales has he done? I think he makes money more for the investment, not because he's actually selling product. Kind of.
I think he even publicly announced that he's pivoted
Yeah.
away from products, right? Totally. He's just now strategy, you know, and so he doesn't even have a
I think
software side
DDT's
anymore,
right as
does he?
far as he's become a proxy for it. I guess
Yeah,
if you go back to the genesis of his journey, it's kind of like ours, right? We don't have that much purchasing power as he does, but I like the genesis story in that a smart man, looked around, and of all the things he could pick in the world to get behind, whether it's a new product or new service or new technology, he picked Bitcoin. And I think so in the beginning, it wasn't just to pump his old bags, right? It was like, hey, look, my company needs this new service, this new product, this new growth. He looked around and all the things he could have picked, he picked Bitcoin. And from that piece, he's been a great advocate for Bitcoin and a great person that has helped on-ramp new people and businesses to Bitcoin. But to your point, DDT, at this point, when you have so much of it, yeah, man, it's no different than you or I. You know, like when we get X amount of Bitcoin, certainly by everybody else buying it, it keeps the price up, and it helps us even in our small little way because we don't own that much. But I see both sides of that. I see. Is he doing it just to pump his own bags? I don't think so. But does it pump his own bags, and does it help him personally? And yeah, it does. And so it's hard to separate that. I do understand it. I do understand it.
In a converse situation, look at someone like Cantor Fitzgerald, right? So what companies should be doing is Michael Saylor should be using profit to buy Bitcoin. A company like Cantor Fitzgerald holds, I think, 80,000 Bitcoin, 90,000 Bitcoin. They use their profit, right? They put Bitcoin, or companies put Bitcoin on the balance sheet out of their profit, out of their earnings, which is basically
he sells those senior notes, right? Those notes. That's how he raises the money to buy the Bitcoin.
Yeah,
well, he did originally use profit.
The company.
He used profit on his first buy, but then he did the Dutch auction to basically leverage his own shares for more Bitcoin. He keeps leveraging his own share. But in the beginning, he did use, well, I guess he became to the point where, hey, we used our profit to buy Bitcoin, and now we don't have that profit. So how can we leverage ourselves? It'd be like you and I going out and getting an equity loan on our house. Say we have our house almost paid off, and we go out and get a HELOC and say, hey, I'm going to get an equity loan for $250K, and I'm going to take that $250 and I'm going to go buy Bitcoin with it. So I'm using my debt basically to buy more Bitcoin. And then he ran, basically the equity lines ran totally out, right? Because he bought so much Bitcoin, and then he figures out, how to use the U.S. government to at 0% interest, basically, to leverage to buy more Bitcoin. So, I mean,
By
that's
the way, he suggests that you do just
that's
that
crazy.
is to leverage your house,
He was like,
right?
you know, leverage yourself to the tilt.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
go in debt. Don't go to debt. It's just a good philosophy,
Well,
right?
right now,
You don't have to make
But
DDT,
over the
right?
life of Bitcoin, he would have been right
If you have
at any
equity,
point
yes,
if you leveraged
but
your house and then waited
pure
another
debt,
4
don't.
years.
Right now, MicroStrategy is sitting at $304 a share. Over the
I
past
think it was
year,
like
it's up
23.
99.61%. It's gone from 120.
I was 120 something last year, January, I think it was.
But
Yep,
I think in
$126
in Darren's
$304.
favor, I think he's just saying that Michael's kind of like a scuzzbag and he just doesn't appreciate his style and
That's
the way
pretty
that
good.
he presents.
No, I mean, I get both sides. I mean, I see. I mean, I'm kind of like it. I admire and respect any risk taker that is going to leverage it all for a belief. It just so happens the thing he believes in, I believe in. So that makes me want to support him and root for him, right? Because he believes in something I believe in too. It's been very interesting to see how creative he's gotten to be able to leverage himself and his company to a point where he has, right? But I think DTT's on something there from the standpoint of, does it get to a point where you're no longer necessarily working for the interest of the community and the whole and the technology and just pumping your own bags? I guess that's human. It's natural to think that. I see it. So it's hard to split that apart and say which is it. I think it's kind of my personal opinion. I think it's emerged of both. I think both premises can exist in that conclusion. Is the way I see it. But I don't know.
My biggest thing with Saylor is that he advocates for mass adoption. And that's what I want. I want to see more people using Bitcoin. I want to see more people buying Bitcoin.
He advocates for buying. He doesn't advocate for selling, though. And if Bitcoin is a transfer of value or proof of value, transfer of wealth
Store of value.
and a store of value, you don't sell it. Essentially. So what his kind of premise is that.
Well, you're gonna sell Bitcoin back into fiat?
Probably not. But I know what friends did kind of in the bear market is you leverage it. Not you leverage it, you loan it. So you use like Aave or Ledin or like all these type of things. I've got friends that's sitting on bags of kind of 20, 30 Bitcoin. And they just leverage it out and then pay the loans back and kind of buy more and just kind
or
of
option. Now we have the options. So now we can use options and keep absolutely keep the coin. So you're right, DTT. Either use it as collateral, or with options on in the bear. Now I think I'm going to really get into some of the crypto options in this bear market. I'm kind of studying up and prepared to do some option stuff. So, but yeah, it kind of rolls into our next topic, to be quite honest. Let me share this. I know I got to minimize it here. I got to figure out which one it is. Hold on one second. Whoops. This one right here. Okay. You guys see that? You see that all right, Red?
Yeah, we're good to go.
All right. So we're talking about Bitcoin. We're talking about Michael Saylor, and then we go into China gold and Bitcoin. This is kind of crazy. So we have learned that, of course, China, we've heard the story of China buying gold for the last several years. They absolutely have been. We also know the stories of we don't even know how much gold is in our Fort Knox, so to speak. And then we're starting to hear some of the news articles about China and Bitcoin. Recently, China has made some headlines by significantly increasing its gold and Bitcoin reserves. As of February 2025, its gold holdings reached an all-time high of 2,279 tons, which accounts for approximately 5.9% of its total foreign exchange reserves. And that was according to the Kabisi letter. The country bought around 160,000 ounces of gold in the last month, making it the fourth consecutive monthly purchase over the past 2.5 years, as it's added 11 million ounces of gold to its reserves. Now, what's so interesting, the United States, however, remains ahead. I don't know if you guys knew that, but holding approximately 8,133 metric tons of gold, according to the World Gold Council. This renders the United States the world's biggest traditional asset holder. In spite of China's gold reserves, in spite of their rise, the U.S. is still way ahead. However, the persistent rise in China's gold reserves signals their efforts to curtail the reliance on the dollar and consolidate their economic influence as much as possible. Let's see. You can see here, Bitcoin has become an important digital currency for nations, as per Bitcoin's treasuries by Bitbo report. Both countries are the two biggest government holders of Bitcoin, primarily acquired from the law enforcement seizures. Of course, presently the United States possesses about 207,000, worth about 17.2 billion. The U.S. seized the majority of the cryptos through enforcement, through law enforcement. So you can kind of see the chart. I don't know if it's big enough for you, but U.S. and China there. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about that? The China starting to get, because you remember China banned it. Remember a few years back, China banned Bitcoin, banned mining, banned Bitcoin, and now everything's open back up, and they're actually buying.
Yeah, so it's interesting, Billy. If you think way back to whenever it started, China had 71% of the hash rate of mining Bitcoin before they started all the first bans and before all that started. 71%. That was a huge amount to where they are now at 21%. So to see that big of a shift, you got to look at some of their decisions and be like, maybe you got this one a little bit wrong, you know?
Kind of like Germany selling their Bitcoin last year,
I've
right?
seen some articles too that say on that chart that you were showing that showed that they were neck and neck with us and how much Bitcoin we have. There's a little bit of skepticism on if they actually still have any of that or all of that 194,000 Bitcoin that they got a long time ago from seizing. So some say that they've already sold off a good deal of it. So I'm not sure if they're really neck and neck with us anymore. Trump said that we're going to be the leaders, and something tells me that we will be, and we'll be the best leaders ever.
I hear you. Just real quick, say hi to Crypto Princess and Alex. Oh, Crypto, good to see you in the chat, man. We appreciate you stopping in. No, it's interesting, the whole transition, what China has done, and like you said, they used to own the hash rate. They used to own the mining. They used to really have a leap ahead of us, and then decided to ban it and to stop it. And then in the meantime, we keep going, right? Even through the Gary Gensler years, right? We kept going as a nation, and the interest in the Bitcoin started to grow and grow and grow, and now we have an administration that's crypto friendly, and I don't know. I think they're behind the eight ball a little bit over there in China, and I think they're going to have to really try to catch up. But as the article said, it's this all goes back to BRICS, and all goes back to trying to not rely on the United States dollar as much as the world has in the past. And there is one way to do that, and that is to own Bitcoin for sure. But it was interesting about the gold too. Did you guys realize how much gold that they report? Who knows if it's true, but as it's reported that we were that far ahead on the amount of gold that
And
we're
with
number
you saying,
one.
who knows if it's true, or both on both ends. What's in
Yeah.
Fort Knox? You know, what's in their version of Fort Knox, and what's in our Fort Knox? Do we even know if anything's
I
in
think what a lot of people don't realize as well is that, yes, Bitcoin mining was banned in China. A lot of the mining actually went to Hong Kong, which is still kind of China.
Yeah.
So in a proxy way, and also as well, all the ETFs. There's a Bitcoin ETF in Hong Kong as well. So they've been doing it under the radar. I think, yes, hash rate's gone down, And yes, obviously, miners went offline completely and moved completely. But for the most part as well, there was some that went out of mainland China, went to Hong Kong, went to, I can't remember the other, there's another country that's kind of linked to China also.
They went to Vietnam. Some went to Vietnam.
Yeah, they moved into other countries, but they were still kind of Chinese
And that's true,
companies
Derek,
or Chinese nationals mining or whatever. I don't know how if they would kind of count it as Chinese Bitcoin as such. But
yeah. And some even say that the Hong Kong is just a test run for what China wants to do.
yeah, they're doing it on a small scale there. And even if you think about kind of the American ETFs, obviously they hold quite a bit of Bitcoin, but it's still small scale. This is, if BlackRock and all these ETFs are going to start scaling, they're going to need more coins. So I think as well, with Hong Kong doing kind of the test run, if you call it that, Dave, then yeah, I could see them stepping that up on a bigger scale again. And I think, Billy, you were alluding to the fact that they have been purchasing, but plus also obviously if you mine it, obviously might be a bit cheaper rather than buying. So
But
that's
there's-
probably on the
Especially if
there's
you
horizon.
get
more-
some of that really cheap power like they have with what is it, the dams and things like that. Don't they have?
Yeah, they've got
really-
hydroelectric,
They
they've
have
got
renewable
nuclear,
energy.
they've got solar, wind farms, they've got whatever. Yeah, you
Shoot,
name
they
it,
got
they've got it.
bicycle power if the government tells them to get on a bicycle.
Mm. But they were
Billy,
saying
if
as
you
well,
could share my screen, I got an article too. It talks about another layer to this onion we can peel back in the short term.
Yep.
So this says, is China quietly building a strategic Bitcoin reserve? This is from March 20th. It says right here, I was reading through this. So Bitcoin price weekly analysis, China triggers economic stimulus. So when they triggered this economic stimulus, the first thing that people go out and do is they buy risky assets. And believe me, China is buying Bitcoin. China's buying Bitcoin and China's buying Ethereum. And we got a tweet right here from David Bailey, who is the CEO of Bitcoin Magazine and Trump campaign Bitcoin strategy advisor. He says China is now working double time to stand up their own strategic Bitcoin reserve. They've been holding closed door meetings on the topic since the election. So it says Beijing may view Bitcoin as part of its de-dollarization strategy, reducing reliance on U.S. financial system. This aligns with its efforts, and like you were talking about, Billy, with the BRICS. But what happened when the Trump checks came through? What did people do with the Trump stimulus? They went out and bought Bitcoin. And I'm sure that's the reason. That's the same thing that the Chinese people are doing. They're buying Bitcoin with their stimulus because they want to return on that free money.
Yeah, and Andrea pointed out in chat that she doesn't think that China's that far behind as far as people think, as far behind as people think they are. And I think she may be right, especially if you consider their numbers and the motivations that they have compared to any motivations that we have over there. Once their government says it's go time, that's 4 billion people going, like half of the world, right?
Well, you saw the chart; they were neck and neck with us. You know,
yeah, and that's without them trying.
Yeah, they were neck and neck with us. So, but it is interesting how it's all kind of developed. They definitely, I think, could have definitely been the leader if they would have stayed on that trajectory that they were on before they announced their ban 3-4 years ago. I think they were ahead, man. I think they could have really been way ahead of us. So we've caught up, and look, Bitcoin's the future. I mean, right? That's what we all believe. The Bitcoin's the future. I think they see it. I think the world sees it now. So it's definitely going to be a race. I can't wait. I can't wait. Right? All that buying. There's only 21 million Bitcoin. So when you look at a valuation of, you're looking at a stock, and you basically look at the price and you look at the price per earnings to figure out whether a stock is good or not. It's harder in crypto, of course, but when you look at the 21 million supply, man, you can really extrapolate that math and you can find out that it's really undervalued. It's really undervalued. So I can see how Michael Saylor can reach a point where he can see that Bitcoin can be $13 million a coin, just doing traditional finance math, right, on things like that. So, but who knows? I just found it fascinating that we know about BRICS, we know about the nations that are working together to try to basically circumvent the United States dollar being an underlying asset, the world reserve, and now you have the purchasing and the buying on like Donkey Kong of Bitcoin by China. So it's just all fascinating to me. Definitely worth talking about
Yeah.
today.
Yeah, and then Andrea posed another point. She said that what if countries started just printing money and then they were just buying Bitcoin, or everybody started buying Bitcoin, and then GFL said that's already happening. And that's true. Like what Red was saying, or what you were saying earlier, whenever we had COVID and they gave us all that money, everybody bought Bitcoin. The price surged. So that could be very similar to what's going on where they're giving all these Chinese people money right now. We may be about to look at a nice price surge. Maybe not. We do still have some stuff down below, but it could be the catalyst that we're looking for to head back up for a little while, at least to get the higher low.
Yeah, what I've been noticing in the order books is
Lower high.
the kind of bids are starting to be removed a bit. So obviously maybe there's some thought that those lower bids below 76 may not be filled for a while. And also as well, they started pushing the bids up, so moving the order book up, the prices they want to buy spot a bit further up. So for the most part, it's looking as if, yeah, we are getting specifically on Bitcoin that we probably at like I was saying, kind of an intermediate low for now, and then decision time. Because obviously people do want to buy lower. We all do, you know. The lower it goes, the more we can stack, right? But it kind of just looking
Stack
just from what
sats.
just from what I was seeing that over the last few days, they're actually pulling bids, which means if you're not going to get in, obviously maybe you've filled some of your orders on spot and you want to sell now, you start placing offers or start placing sells above, and that's kind of something that Tina alluded to sometime this week as well. So sorry, yeah, it's not just me seeing that; it's something Tina's mentioned as well, kind of specifically in the order books. So yeah, just kind of full transparency. It's not me. Kind of I've seen it, but obviously there's other people seeing it as well. So that's kind of what may push price up now. The people that did load up are going to start stacking sells to kind of offload a bit and kind of take some profit.
And Tony and Frankie also gave us his in game too, kind of a little bit for this cycle. Whenever it hits that 145, 155 range, something like that, he says he's going to sell the majority of his Bitcoin. And of course, he's going to trade every day up and down. But he said that he's going to take his profits and he's going to get ready for the next one.
Yeah, I bought, obviously, kind of transparency, kind of Golden donated us some Bitcoin. So that I had that. Obviously, I did buy a bit at like 30,000-ish, so I didn't actually add any more after that. And kind of when Bitcoin got below 80K, I was like, I've been saying, kind of got to be a man to my word. I've been saying to my guys and my girls, I was going to buy Bitcoin if Bitcoin went below 80K, and I bought. So I still have a decent average, but the lower Bitcoin goes, kind of obviously you got to see the long-term game in it to kind of stack the Bitcoin and kind of use it as a retirement or kind of pass it on to your family as kind of, you know, when you pass, when your time's done. So you kind of got to see that is the end game, kind of because of the fiat Ponzi that most of us live in at the moment.
Shout out to Golden. Shout out to Golden because he also, you know, gifted that to myself, and I think something towards all the mods in Frankie Candle. So what a guy, man! What a guy!
What a guy!
I'm with you, DDT. Though I am not a big fan of price predictions. So when Saylor said that, I mean, obviously he's trying to get a reaction out of everybody, right? What if I tell everybody today that ETH is going to be $4,000 tomorrow? You know, and I'll show you a reason why it's going to be $4,000 tomorrow. I mean, it'll be my own reasons, right? Doesn't mean it's correct. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of price predictions because they're wrong so many times.
Yeah, so that's the good thing about his prediction, right? He didn't give us a timeline. He just said that's what he expects,
Well,
right?
20
2049.
years, but
Was it
yeah.
2040 something? 2045?
Dude,
20
it
year,
could-
2045. Yeah.
it could go to $13 million by the end of the year. We don't know.
The thing is, what people don't understand, there has to be a seller for every buyer, and there has to be a buyer for every seller. The order books can't stay stagnant. There has to be a yin and a yang. There has to be an opposite, right?
Yeah.
So
Yep.
if
Absolutely.
Bitcoin is moving up, people are selling Bitcoin, and this is kind of, and if Bitcoin is moving down, people are buying Bitcoin. Yes, they're probably panic selling, but also as well, as price moves down, people buy. As price moves up, people sell. So
Yeah.
you
Real
say-
quick. Just say hello to Chad. Alex, though, I got your message there. Yeah. For those of you that weren't here at the beginning of the show, we definitely talked and launched Red's book, Redman's book, Billy Goat Tales published. Jeff's book. It's great. We talked about it, and you can get the link on the Billy Goat Tales Twitter. That's the link there. You can get the link on Redman's Twitter X. You can get it on mine. So we definitely have it out there for the second installment of Billy Goat Tales, written by our very own Redman. He will be going around the channels this week to talk about it. So we appreciate all the support. It's available on Amazon right now. And real quick to say hi to, I think Princess is in here. Kuzakan, bump it, my man. Good to see you. Appreciate you being here. Polyo's in the chat. Cluck, cluck, mofo. Cluck, cluck. See, Alex, that's how you do it in a diplomatic and loving way. We appreciate you. See, all set. Who else we got in here? Uncle Jesse, of course. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging out with Billy Goat Tales. I think that was it. If I missed you, I'm sorry. We'll come back to you. We're having some great conversation on this whole Bitcoin China thing, Michael Saylor thing. We do have another topic that let me pull that up, that we wanted to get into, which is, I wish Wick's wife and Wick was in here for this one. This is the whole XRP piece. Let me grab it real quick. I was thinking of Wix when I saw this. There we go, right here. Boom, boom. Of course, I need to minimize this for you all. There, boom.
While you're doing that, I'll just ask the chat: do they think that it's fair, the rap that XRP gets? Due to its lack of decentralization, due
Good
to
question.
it being inside with the banks and things like that, or do you think that it should get a break because it is helping for the adoption of crypto and it is pushing crypto to go mainstream? So I asked the chat, what do you guys think?
Yeah. So XRP, this article was yesterday. XRP criticizes biggest scam over DEX volume. Here's Ripple's response. So XRP faced criticism over its low decentralized exchange volume, raising questions about its utility. Ripple defended the cryptocurrency's broader role in the global financial infrastructure beyond just the DeFi metrics. There was a heated controversy among the crypto community after well-known analyst ILO labeled XRP as the biggest financial scam in history. His basis for this was what he perceived as lack of utility in real life, despite XRP's massive market value of $140 billion. So here's he basically saying its DEX volume only totaled a paltry 44,000. Of course, David Schwartz had to jump in on that and defend. So he responded to those concerns. And here's a couple of the actual posts that came out from that, where he was showing the volume. They basically said, you didn't look at the total volume. Here's the real volume kind of thing. So let me scroll down. There was another, there. So basically, this guy Vet is saying it's really the biggest opportunity market in the whole crypto space. No other blockchain allows such an easy capture of over 6 million accounts on chain with so little competition. XRP ledger, the place to build, hands down. So it showed, 9 million in volume over 24 hours, now 44,000. So even David Schwartz jumped in on this. I found it fascinating because, as you guys know, XRP, like DDT, you said it earlier, XRP, you either love it or you hate it. I look at it as just a pure investment. I'm not big in that community. I don't use that chain like I do Cardano. On Cardano, I use every part of the chain that you can possibly imagine. I mean, I just use the chain. But I've always believed in the beginning, back to 2017, when I bought my XRP, it was like, hey, here's a chain that actually could get mass adoption. I even back in those days believed that XRP would have mass adoption before even Bitcoin or Ethereum or Litecoin back in those days because of the tie to a real world company in Ripple and because of its ties to the SWIFT system and to the settlement system in the United States. So from that perch back then, it seemed like this would be a good place if you're investing in crypto and you're investing in blockchain, and then you can invest in what was a real company in that regard back then, backed by a real company, Ripple. It just seemed like a good thing to do. And fast forwarding, yeah, it's been all right. I mean, I bought at 37 or 34 cents, one of the two. So I mean, I didn't buy high compared to where it is today, but it certainly hasn't been as good if I would have bought more Bitcoin with that same dollar, that the dollars I put into that, I would have fared a lot better. So compared to Bitcoin, it wasn't a good investment decision by any means, and compared to some stocks, you know. So, what do you guys think about that?
My biggest issue with XRP is the escrow. Obviously, that is a big percentage. So that's kind of the biggest detractor as to when they actually start selling some XRP. So when Ripple actually starts selling, then that might, obviously they have to pay bills. So they do sell every kind of month or whenever it is, but it doesn't really affect price, which is good, kind of a good ethical practice. But if they ever had to dump a lot of that escrow, then yeah, that'll be I think that'll be too much selling pressure for kind of your average retail buyer to pick up. So that's probably the overhang at this point. But the utility in XRP is obviously kind of the replacement of that whole SWIFT system. So that's kind of what they're banking on at this point. And also as well, XRP, I know people that use obviously XRP to move coins around exchange. So I know a few of our guys, rather than moving USDC on Coinbase, they buy XRP and they move XRP to their leverage exchange as well. I know some people that use ADA as well. Cardano is also quicker and cheaper than using ETH on USDC or ETH on USDT or even TRX. So there's ways and means, but XRP doesn't really have the utility at this point. It's just basically a buy and hold and kind of it's a means of transfer as well. It's kind of like a store of value, but not necessarily for the most part. But also as well, it has an avid, I think one of the biggest things about XRP, same like Cardano, is the community. So
strong community, very strong community,
and also
loyal.
Well,
loyal community.
You think about I don't know all of the KOLs, but kind of their KOLs and their influencers and the people that kind of they kind of a part of their community, like the big followers and stuff. They're fairly kind of valiant in their efforts. Kind of they still think it will go up, but now if Bitcoin goes up, everything else hopefully goes up. So, but at least now there's no overhang of the kind of lawsuits and stuff. So that kind of gives them a bit of runway to the upside.
It is ISO. It is ISO coin, which I think adds any ISO coin. I if you had to wait it out, I'd add an extra penny of weight to the ISO coins, especially now with the mass adoption occurring. I'd add a little bit of weight to that. One of the the criticisms that you hear about XRP is there's all those coins that pre-mined coins owned by Ripple, right? And so little centralization, a little big bag of coins owned by them, pre-mined as a company. You don't see that with Cardano. You don't see that with some of these others. But being an investor, like I almost feel like I can talk about my cousin because he's my cousin. You know, he's like I have an opinion because hey, he's my cousin. You know, it is one of the earlier investments I made. I look at it more as an investment, not the utility of using the chain. Almost like I do use ETH chain. Okay, we all have to use, or probably all at some point, whether you're using MetaMask or you're on a layer 2 on ETH, right? We're using the chain, right? But a lot of these coins, most of my bags are investment bags, right? They're not necessarily where I'm involved in that community, like you're talking about a KOL or really degen into that community. I am with Cardano, but I really do hang around the dot chain just because we met those folks, got to know those folks, and I see what they're building, but I don't necessarily use that chain. I just have a bag, and I want them to do well. But most of my investments are that's what they are, investments. They're not like I'm utilizing that chain, and so I certainly don't really use XRP. I think I've used Caspa chain more than I've used XRP chain, and Caspa is not a few years old. So I think I've used Caspa chain more than I use XRP chain. Not that smack on XRP, I just don't use the chain that much.
Yeah, I about 5-6 years ago, I bought a bunch of XRP, and I sat on it, and the price action was horrible through the whole court thing, and I sold it, but I bought back into it because I wouldn't be able to live with myself if this thing really does rip, and I didn't have a ton.
FOMO, fear of missing out.
That's all honest. That's 100% honesty right there. Is the tech there? It is. It can be. Is the chain as good as Caspa? Does it solve the trilemma? No, it doesn't. Is it as widely used as even Bitcoin in the Lightning Network? No, it's not. But you think world liquidity, and if they get on those rails, then this thing really pops off, and that's kind of moon boyish. It's very moon boyish to say something like that, but at the same time, could it happen? Yes, because Brad Garlinghouse was at that crypto summit. When you see things like that, you're like, okay, that's good for price action, right? So,
yeah, and to be fair, I mean, it's not pointing towards the retail guys to use it, right? It's pointing towards institutions to use it.
mhm.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
So for us not to use it, that's not really a knock on it because it's not facing us.
Yeah,
Well,
XRP is fairly quick and still stable, so it can be used.
yeah,
And
and
you've not really heard of
went
any.
with-
You've not really heard of any, whatever, downtime, hacks, anything like that, or I've not. So
Swift
for
went
those
with
that do use it, it must have
Chainlink
a-
instead of XRP.
Yeah, I like day one's thought. I think it's stupid to hate on any project unless it rugs us. I agree with that. Like there's a place for all these. Like when I see those articles and these guys jumping on a particular chain, you just got to wonder if there's some other agenda or mission behind that, because it's like everybody's tribal, right? Everybody's tribal. So I try to keep an open mind. I think you're right on point there, A1.
Also, as well, XRP's done well. It's like almost 5.5, 6x up from when kind of it started eating from 40 something cents. It's not that it's not done well. It's just obviously it will have its detractors that don't like it and prefer the other chains. You're never going to please everyone, but for the diehards that use it, kudos to them. It's safe, it's reliable, generally, from what I've seen. Probably quick to move, yeah, it's probably not that expensive as well to move coins around or kind of interchange. So, for the most part, it's an option to use if people. So, if hypothetically, if everything had to go down and we could only use XRP to move money around, I would use XRP to move money around. But I generally use either Polygon, ADA, or TRX on USDT because that's just what I've used before. But if I only had the option to use XRP, I'd use it. So
Yeah.
Base
Yeah.
base is very cheap. I've done transactions for less than a penny on base. So
Yeah, and that's the other thing. These other chains come along faster, cheaper, and it makes me think of the 90s .com bubble. There's so many, it's just because of the new tech, just so many popped up, and trying to figure out which was going to be the one that was going to be the last one standing was very difficult. Just very, very difficult, which goes to always take your profit in trading, right? So you don't know. So from a trader's perspective, it doesn't matter, right? You can be trading the one you like, I'll bring up all the time, Dave, Farcoin. You can trade Farcoin, right?
Farcoin's it's a first mover.
Yeah. From an
It's a first
investment
mover in
standpoint,
the market.
it's hard to determine, which ones to hold for the long term. That's why there's really one that you can't hold, and it's got a track record, which is Bitcoin, right? I keep seeing we have this open the club, Dave. So, we're going to get in trouble by Sin City, but we got to open the club, I guess. Dave's back here. He's
Open the club, party up in here.
And for those of you that weren't here at the beginning, I think we got to make sure, Dave, we bring up Red's promo for our new children's book.
Yeah, man, let's take a look. Are you ready?
Not again, man. Come on. All right, we have one more. Let me share my screen. We have one more good topic here I wanted to get to because without Jimmy, we don't have the Jimmy Jim's closing segment.
Get better,
can you guys
Jimmy.
see, can you see that all right?
Bring up, Billy, is our discussion on stablecoins and their expected boom over the next year.
We can hit that. We'll hit that right after this. Yeah. Can you guys see this okay?
It's a
Or you
little,
bring it up
it's
to the- no,
small.
sorry, I didn't see it. No, that's still real.
not yet.
All right, hold on.
It's
Hold
small.
on. How
There
about
we
that?
go.
Yeah,
There we
that's
go.
way better.
Okay, so let me click on this real quick. This is really what I wanted to show you right here. Crypto startups should be allowed to raise money with NFTs, says SEC leadership. So, SEC Crypto Task Force, led by Ms. Pierce, said Friday that crypto projects like the Stoner Cats, for instance, which used NFTs as fundraising mechanisms to fund their work, should be exempt from security regulations and may soon receive the clarity from the regulators. So backstage at the SEC first ever crypto roundtable last Friday afternoon, Pierce, who along with the acting SEC chair, told Decrypt she been hardened by positive responses to a statement the agency issued yesterday declaring proof of work crypto mining to not fall under its definitions of securities. Pierce said NFTs could be the next asset category the agency addresses with similar exemptive statements. We could, this is a quote, we could do it on NFTs as well, Pierce said. If we could provide some kind of framework or some kind of markers for NFTs issuers to look to, I think it could be very helpful. This, ladies and gentlemen, in my opinion, could change the game with just positive NFT policy, because from a tax perspective, these tracking NFTs is very difficult. Even if you have an API plugin, trust me, I got hundreds of them, and it's always a tough thing to get your hands around, because you buy them, you sell them, you trade them, you list them on OpenSea or another of these exchanges. In our case now, BillygoatTales, we create them. It's tough. So to have some exempt status, oh man, that would be just wonderful for the whole crypto space. What do you guys think? Where's the cricket sound?
Yeah.
We got a cricket sound? We got a cricket sound somewhere, don't we?
I had a few NFTs last run, but I sold them. Kind of slight loss, some profit, kind of averaged myself out. But kind of...
Well, how about globally for the
US
space, DDT? Just another crypto-friendly regulation for the space. What do you think about that?
It'll be good, because also as well, like the SEC person was saying, was that they can raise based on NFTs. They can sell NFTs to raise, which is kind of tax-free profit. So they can make utility out of raising money for whatever they need. So it's not just give us your money and kind of there's nothing for it at the end of the day, or wait like 5 years or whatever to get your investment back. With the NFT, obviously you can just sell it on, or if it values up, obviously then you can sell it, sell it early. So there's a little more of a win-win there. Obviously depending on market conditions, but if we're in up only, NFT is also up only. So if they list and buy and you buy it kind of in a good stage of the market, yes, you can make your money quite easily, or kind of make a bit of profit quite easily. And
to me, it's a crypto
kind of like a share.
Kickstarter. It's a crypto Kickstarter, man. So Kickstarter and the legacy financial system used a lot by new companies, new products, new designs, new prototypes, and it's a Kickstarter for crypto. So to think about that using a NFT. So in the traditional, we've all seen what's the show with Shark Tank? We've all seen Shark Tank, where these entrepreneurs go in, they have a product, they're trying to get funding, they're trying to get one of the quote whales, right? Kevin O'Leary's on their team. They may need some funding to go to the next stage of the development or the next stage of their sales process. And now, if this does happen, you almost have a way to do that in crypto using blockchain which is amazing to me. So instead of going in front of the Shark Tank whales, you are basically going in front of a community and saying, hey, here is my idea, here's my product, which is what Kickstarter does, right? They go out and they say here, they submit their ideas, and if the folks like it, whether that be the community or that be an angel investor, if they like it, they they invest into it. And to do that in a tax-free manner, in a manner that is open book and above board, to me is huge. It is just huge for crypto. And then you have the whole tax accounting just cluster that it's been, that you can just free up and settle out pretty easily as well.
Yeah, I think the best thing of that, what you read, Billy, was proof of work coins are not a security. You know, I don't know anybody who has ever said proof of work coins are a security, or I didn't even know that was a thing. I mean, I didn't even know that Gensler was looking at them. But I'm glad, because, you know, I have a bias towards proof of work. I came up in the crypto space mining, and I believe in mining. I believe it solidifies the network. I believe it as a security. You know, but yeah, I think that was the best part of that statement. And it makes me just feel better about something that I'm already doing. So,
Well, the whole proof of work thing, I think, stems from when they, you know, Bitcoin, of course, and when they announced it was a commodity, being proof of work. It's there was a distinguishing factor, because we were around when, you know, ETH went from proof of work to proof of stake, and so I think they started using that as a distinguishing factor in the federal government of whether something is a commodity or a security. So now they more globally put a global blanket around that and looked at saying basically all of proof of work coins could be considered that exempt status, or a commodity status, not an exempt status, a commodity status. So I think that's where the genesis of that comes from. But yeah, I mean, the more we see that, the more we hear that, the more I'm excited about it. I think it's good for our space. I think it's good for proof of work. I think it's good for crypto. I mean, to have our own type of Kickstarter within our own community, within the blockchain, that is blockchain based and not legacy finance based, is huge. We'll have to sort that out in our communities, right? As far as how each blockchain handles that. But power of the people, man. That's what I like. It's like take it away from federal government, from centralization, put it in the hands of the people. Let them decide if it's a good idea. Just like they do on Shark Tank, you know, just like they do with Kickstarter. You know,
yeah,
I love that.
This type of news, it's what gets the normie population that aren't in crypto excited, because you know, I've been working on my parents for a long time, talking to them, advocating Bitcoin, and they called me a couple weeks ago after they saw the Laura Trump episode, where she sat down with Michael Saylor, and they were like, well, we need to talk more about this Bitcoin. I was like, yes, that is a win right there. So that made me very happy to know that my parents are thinking about it. So
Yeah, man. Let's see.
Yeah.
Dave, you want to hit the stablecoin thing, or go right up against? Man, we're about out of time, man.
Yeah, I think we're
How?
out of time. It's not a huge thing. I think we were just going to point out that they were expecting that from a 200 billion, 200 million. Let me have to look that up again. Anyway, they're expecting to double from pretty significant. I think it was 200 billion market cap now, or what it was in December, and they're looking to go to double that to a 400 billion market cap for the stable coins, which is rather significant to double, since if they've been around whatever it is, 7-ish years or something like that. They haven't been around as long as Bitcoin, right? They came a little bit later. And then for all that time, they made it to 200 billion. And then they think from 24, 25, they're going to go to past that, and double it to 400 billion, which is rather significant. I think the stable coins, there's people on all the sides. There's all sides of a stable coin. So, right, there's the people that are on the extreme of, oh my God, they're going to use it against us. These are going to be CBDCs and they're going to control what we're doing and what we're not doing. And then there's the whole other side that says, well, this is really easy to use. The price doesn't fluctuate and it doesn't cost me a lot to use it. So I really like to use this whenever I'm paying somebody. It really makes it easy for me to send money to my family or to send money to a creator in another country or something like that. So we've got, it's split. You've got people split on both sides of what's going on with stable coins. One thing is for sure, adoption's coming, and the expected growth to double just in this year is staggering.
Yeah, and I think part of the reason for that prediction is, I mean, these guys know we're getting ready to go into, at some point within the next 12 months at least, right, or less, we're getting ready to go into a bear market. And what do people do in a bear market? They put a lot more money into stables, right? So I can see that prediction coming true. And there's also new stables being launched as well. New stable coins for, there's some talk I've read around the interwebs that there's some talks for different blockchains that have their own stable coins. So there's the world stable coin, or the most utilized stable coin, USDC and USDT. But I think stable coins are going to have like a little bit of a boom as they are developed by different blockchains to be utilized within their ecosystems. So you have the world piece of that, and that's where XRP and some of the ISO stuff comes along in replacement of Swift and CBDCs and stuff like that. But I think we're going to see more stables be created and launched as the years click off, for sure.
Yeah. And these topics, they bring a lot. There's a lot to discuss and to go into.
Yeah.
So what we want to do here at BillygoatTales is we just want to bring what's trending and what's in the conversation to the surface so that you guys can start discussing it, so that you guys as a community can go back and look into the things that are interesting to you. And then we'll talk more in everybody's chats throughout the week. This is just kind of gives us a head start so that we'll know what's going on and you guys will know what's going on. We can all do a little bit of research and then regroup in all our different places where we meet throughout the week and discuss all these things as they're happening in real time. So that's all I got, Billy.
Yeah, man. Well, I see Wifey made it. Wifey, you got to tell Wick that he's got to rewind. We talked about XRP, so you got to make sure he knows. K-Dig, see you. Wayne C, see you. Thank you guys for coming, hanging out with BillygoatTales. We appreciate it. Just as a last reminder, Tuesday, our X Space, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Gary Cardone speaking on the power of I am. It's going to be a fantastic space. And don't forget to check out our Twitter X handles, both at BillygoatTales, CryptoBilly111, and the Red Man, because our new book's on there. We want to make sure you guys check that out. And we're going to do some promotions around that book as well. Lots of good stuff coming up. With that being said, I appreciate you all hanging out with us. Until next time, next Sunday, we'll see you then.